That just gets me
I mean,
excited.
Xenotronics, I don't know how good he is going to be
Sure.
in the long run. Like I like him in that
Right.
matchup specifically. I
Yeah,
haven't seen enough game from him. We'll
I
have to
agree.
see though if he can make it.
Yeah, I mean it's just fun to see, and we'll see if that rookie rage continues as we move into game number 2. Picks and bans coming your way. Team Flex versus Denal Esports, the last of NA relegations. Flex wins game number 1, and that puts them above a Denial.
Denial Esports first pick this time. Looks like they are not going to have any of Dare to Care's Odin this time. And Odin honestly has risen to be a very strong pick against a lot of the top gods in the meta. You saw Kumakarna and Mace to the Face on his Kronos just kind of have no hope. And the second he jumped, Dare to Care's like, all right, I'm blinking on this guy.
And
He's trapped.
And,
that
was the key.
And he could tank the Suns too because of the Ice Assault.
Yep. Very well played. Coming out, just multi-level plays coming out from Team Flex. So taking that Odin out, they'll have to change things up just a little bit. In Denial, after the bans are all said and done, Shadowq will be picking up this Athena.
Team Flex, I expect to respond with Isis just because of how effective Isis has been. Obviously, Athena is very good against Isis, can bait beads very early, can interrupt Wind Gust, but I mean, it's still, she's just the best mid laner right now if you want pressure. Like, if you want pressure, you got Isis, and then no one else.
Poseidon does it.
Not even close. Not even close to Isis.
Not as well as Isis.
He takes about 6 to 7 levels to have that. But even then, it's like Isis is still scarier. She has a stun in her kit, man.
Yeah, Isis from level 1 is the guy to really push
Going
off
back to the
that
Guan.
mid lane. And then Guan Yu, Team Flex. I think that Guan Yu is maybe more valuable to Team Flex than Isis. I know that we've seen them pick Isis above Guan Yu, even when they have the 1 pick on the left side. But Guan Yu seems to have had just a huge impact.
For me, with Guan, right, not only is Guan really good currently, just for resetting fights with Conviction and if you go Meditation, but also Team Flex specifically, I could see 3 players playing this. I could see Incon, Dare, and Matty Pocket playing it. It's a flex pick for them based on their players' god pools. In response, though, Denial, they're going to pick up Serket for the jungle, and Amaterasu likely solo.
That is likely going to be an Amaterasu solo because of the Serket, but that Kali pick by Team Flex, they banned it in game number 1 because they had no intention of playing it, and this time around they certainly do. Danikare on this Kali is lethal. He really can make this Kali get up and running.
Probably one of my favorite players to put. Like, Danikare is the guy who will play anything, but it seems like the off meta are his best, right? If Danikare plays Thor, I was like, okay, it's Danikare's Thor, right? And it's kind of like, okay, this will be SPL level, but then he pulls out his Najahs and Kalis, and everyone knows I am a big proponent against Najah overall.
Stop, Najah's
There's
the
a couple
greatest.
players that I will, like, if it comes down to clutch situations, like, Danikare is one of the players, and I'm like, he will hit his sashes. He will hit his ults. He knows how to play this in the clutch scenarios. Like, he knows how to use Najah, and he never seems to tilt when it comes to the big stage.
Well, Danikare's god pool seems to exist in that middle area, right? Like, you've got your traditional Thors, and then you've got your like really wacky Khepri jungles, and Danikare sits in that area of Najahs and Kalis and
Odins
and Odins, all these gods that you don't call them bad, but you're not going to pick them up.
It's like
first.
these are very like scenario, like situational picks that he will pick up even in not their ideal situation. Denial Esports, though, looks like they're going for some pickoffs here. They have Athena, Serket, and Nuwa. So the double globals as well as Serket, who, if she can get rolling, if she can find a kill early, like we saw what Homie Efe did against, who was it, Risky Behavior, it's bad. When Serket gets rolling, it's bad.
Very true. Nuwa, we've seen do well, though.
Wow, Chiron made it this deep.
Yeah, Chiron.
Was Chiron banned last game?
Chiron was not banned.
What
last
in the
game.
world is happening?
Xenotronics, definitely a Ho Yi player, so the Ho Yi ban comes out, forces him onto the Horseman, and Amir is going to be the support all the way on the bottom.
This is risky. So I really like the Serket pickup in general because what Denial really struggled with last game was bursting out these characters against the Guan Yu. Serket, that's what she provides, right? She can 100-0 Isis, right? And it doesn't matter if Flex back off, right? Because when Serket's in, she's killing someone or she's being killed or she's getting someone incredibly low. Like that's the better jungle pick, I think, in this scenario. But the problem is for Flex is that they've picked up Ymir. And Ymir suffers the same exact way that Ares does, the same exact way that Sylvanas does, that if they get behind early, right, if they get picked off, which is what Denial's esports comp is looking for, it's game over for them. They are a burden on their team. We saw that last week. I already talked about it. Homie FA on that Circuit versus Wubben Sylvanas versus in the risky behavior matchup. Like, he just couldn't do anything. And it was nothing on Wubben. It was a very early rotation from Homie, and then it was just like camp the tree.
With that said, Circuit definitely a high skill ceiling god. Homie Effie, a very skilled player. Benny XD, a lot of question marks from me. Big, definitely a rookie on this in this game, and I mean, frankly, I just don't know him very well at all.
You know, Benny XD is kind of the same level as Oceans is to me, where
really,
sorry, not
really?
skill,
'Cause
not
we've gotten to see
sorry,
Oceans for the
sorry,
past couple of weeks.
not skill level. I'm talking about in my knowledge base when they first play.
Sure.
Right? Oceans, I'm like, who the hell is Oceans, right?
Okay,
and
I
Benny
see what you're
XD,
saying
I was
now,
like,
okay.
who the hell is Benny? But then I was like, oh, I've seen these guys in games before.
Okay.
But it's like, it's not anything where I've seen them play consistently at a high level. Oceans has surprised me. I'll see if Benny XD, he's still the question mark, obviously, but he has potentially 5 games to prove it.
Yeah, because I mean, we've gotten to see Oceans for the past couple of weeks. Team Flex playing through the
Yeah,
relegation
I like Oceans.
through its entirety, going back to the open bracket, whereas Denial kind of just picked up Benny XD, I mean, to my knowledge, very recently. So, taking the place of Adjust on the side of Denial Esports for now. We'll see how
Ooh,
the
that's
team
awkward.
shapes up. Double freeze coming out of Incon, but
Block.
the dash is going to be available.
So, Shadow Q goes to the back line and tries to shield wall, but he actually misses the shield wall on the archers, and therefore Flex got full control of the wave and were able to get the superior poke there. And now it's going to be rough for Denial, as they're also going to be late to their own boards as Flex gets to theirs first.
Yeah, you've pointed out a number of times throughout this relegation series how important it is to maintain control of these dual lanes. Good dash away. Dare to Care just playing a little scary.
Dare to Care goes and elects to kill Benny XD. His death is worth more than the new Waz there, but the problem is that Benny XD had the reaction time to Deathbane away.
Yep.
The safer pick would have been going for Maze to the face, and I'm not saying they would have killed him, but they definitely would have poked him very low. It's just killing Maze isn't worth as much as going for XD, so I like the decision from Dare to Care there, trying to get the more worthwhile kill, even though it was harder to obtain.
And just exactly exerting just enough force. Like, I'll jump towards you, and if you're going to stick around, I'll fight you a little bit, but you leave, I'll leave too. It's not a big deal. I'm Kali. My lash hurts, but he's really waiting for the late game.
I really want to see Matty Pocket build health this game, and like sooner.
You were so offended in game 1 when you said,
well, you saw how
he
close
doesn't have health. What is he doing?
You saw how close the fights were, right? Like, don't get me wrong, max CDR on Guan is phenomenal.
Oh, I don't disagree. I'm just pointing out how mad you were.
It's just a matter of, as long as he stayed alive, like, they could just spam Conviction and it was fine. By the way, this lane matchup is, like, terrible for Guan. It's just, Amaterasu has a silence on her dash, so you know, when Matty Pocket is using that Talu Assault trying to clear the wave, Walrus just like, and you're done.
Yeah, Walrus will be able
to
Walrus will be able to silence out a couple of those. There's a strong hit out of the Circuit to silence out the Wingust. Great play.
Explosion. Dare to Care. His jump is down. Look at this though. Walrus has rotated in. Can he get there fast enough?
He's not gonna. No.
That if that was just the second they saw the Spirit Ball coming, Walrus rotated, maybe that would have went differently. That's a little bit risky though.
A little bit. I like the play from Walrus, just shading over, right?
Yeah.
If a different pathing is taken, he goes and he aggresses, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Ooh, Benny XD picked up for first blood in the mid lane. Both ultimates still alive. What I'm assuming happened there is that he was stunned out or silenced out of Deathbane.
Just a quick.
That's the only assumption I have.
Yeah, he definitely got CC'd a little bit by the Isis and the Kali.
The worst timing too is both Big Harpies about to spawn.
Yeah.
And so both are, so it's going to be even worse. And honestly, the dual lane has that lost pressure just from that small little shield wall. Gave Flex such immense pressure. And to be fair, Ymir actually has very dominating lane clear, especially against an Athena.
And he's such a threat too. Like that stun off of a Ymir freeze, you're not just taking a little bit of damage. You're getting Ymir frozen.
And it's kind of got to this
Harpy.
point where Denial Esports, they kind of wanted to be aggressive early with the Athena Circuit, right? They want, ideally they kill Matty Pocket on cooldown.
Ooh, and that's what Walrus is up to, killing Matty Pocket for the first time.
So
Walrus is going to come over.
Even though Athena ult was there, Walrus soloed Matty.
Yeah.
That was a straight solo.
Oh yeah.
And now they're actually going to be rewarded with the blue buff and the board. So even though Flex got first blood Flex wasn't able to steal away any camps, and this should realistically even it up.
Both teams finding opportunistic kills here, paying attention to the clock very carefully. Team Flex gets the first blood, which leaves mid Harpies open. So open, in fact, it makes the face just goes back to base. And then right side,
Oh,
gets the
Shadow
kills right before
Q.
the jungle spawns.
Walrus actually left
Dare.
those camps
Dare.
early.
Dare-
Shadow's in a
Dare
lot
and
of
Incon
trouble.
Top side, Shadow Q's gonna get stunned
He's
out.
done.
Dash not available. Stun not good enough from Incon, ultimate rather. And Sprint is activated to get
Nice
Team Flex out of there.
I thought he was as good as dead, but obviously that wall's not going to last long enough in a nice sprint. And now their own buffs will be secured here, and lead still in Flex's favor, though, for that first blood, 500.
Well played by the well played by Team Flex to really get out of jail in that situation. You know, Incon just didn't have the length on the wall. That's why we saw Raffer change things up during Worlds and level that wall up.
Speaking of that, I think level 7 is going to be the easier way to determine. Can we highlight Incon real quick? What's he leveling up? So he's just leveling up to clear. This is
damage.
the traditional, like, I'm maxing out Glacial Strike because I clear camps and I can also just freeze, drop that, and basically half-life any squishies as a Guardian this early.
This is, I mean, honestly, I don't want to call leveling the Glacial Strike up a mistake in this case because that's what has given, partially due to a couple of other variables that you have mentioned, Team Flex the pressure in this dual lane. And look at that chunk. He's able to take out Xenotronics with it as well.
He's going to be not stunned out, but will be
Long
slowed.
range. Incon from way back where.
I don't think Dare to Care knows that it's the last person to hit him when he goes metal. You saw him like swinging away. Actually, I wonder if that's a thing, right? So Chiron is a matter of you can move in your ultimate, but when you die, you're stuck in place, right? What if like someone just like one day just stops moving and just like feigns death, and it's like maybe they won't know.
Well, so
they're like at 5 health or something.
The difference is there's still HP.
Yeah, but if it's like 5, you're not going to be able to. If you're at like 5 health, everyone's going to be like, you're dead.
No, you can totally see it.
You cannot see it.
You can totally see it.
I'll
point it out next time.
I would bet any amount of money in the world that you wouldn't be able to see it. Not in the heat of the battle.
Oh, just me?
Just like anyone, right?
Okay.
But
I thought you meant
wouldn't.
specifically me.
Specifically you, I wouldn't, right? If I can, I don't know about, like, what hope do you have after that?
Ouch. We can't
You know what, to be fair, Jungler did Sash Creeps, or Sash the Gold Period.
Yes,
I saw that.
He did.
I saw that. That was pretty fun. I'm like, oh, man. And then I was like, oh, man, he set. And then you just, like, went off. You're like, oh, other players do this, too.
It's called deflection.
Gold Fury being circled around here by both duo lanes, you can see. And just kidding.
Such an even game right now, very early on. Kind of to be expected, honestly. You've got Serket and Kali in the jungle. Both of these characters want to stay in the kiln as long as possible to really come out and destroy everybody later on in the game. And, you know, Lazarus is going to do what he can to put pressure in the mid game. But like I said, I mean, Incon needs to be that damage dealer early on if you want to get pressure off of this. So it's really just Benny. It's really just Benny and Dare to Care waiting until later to show up to the party.
Walrus trying to steal away the blue buff, but not able to do it. I don't think he knows Incon's there. He does have a ward, though, and Incon going to go back to the mid lane. Walrus right now, almost 800 gold up on Matty Pocket. I mean, Walrus right now is just so far ahead, and Denial should look to extend that lead, right? Walrus, either camp Walrus with that Athena ult, right? Continuously get Matty Pocket down, or look to have Walrus out-rotate Matty Pocket. What I would like to see ideally is probably Athena ult over, force Matty back. Like, you don't even need to kill him, get him low.
Okay.
And then make him teleport back into tower, and then force Gold Fury while he's over on the right-hand side. I think that would be ideal plan. I don't know if they're going to do that, but I think that's a pretty smart plan.
With the lead they've got over there, it's not a bad idea. About 1,000 gold.
You might as well, like, when one player has a direct lead, you got to utilize him to extend that lead. Unless you think you're going to win late game. And late game against a Guan Kali, like, that's a little bit risk. To be fair, Denial does have an Amaterasu who typically struggles in the early game.
Yes.
She's a very good team fighter, but the thing with Amaterasu is, like, there's not, like, one thing that it's like, she is the best at, right? Like, what is Amaterasu the best at? She's the best at team fighting, right? She provides auras, she provides all these utility things.
She's kind of similar to someone.
She's not going to 100-0 burst someone. She's not going to have all this control. She's just very useful to have, right? And a lot of times, when you pick gods in your team comp, you want them to have a specific purposes, right? Like, Serket, the specific purpose is to pick off a squishy character in the backline, right? Either early or late game.
Like a Loki or Naja.
And it's like Amaterasu, it's like, we just want her to team fight. Like, there's, I mean, she just needs to be around everyone because she does all these things.
She's sort of like a Sun Wukong in that respect,
Yes.
where like he's got fantastic poke and wave
No,
gear, but
even
like,
even
he
this,
doesn't have a
Sun
specific
Wukong is
role.
disruption, right? He's got a stun, he's got a knockup.
And that's exactly what
he's
she
got
is.
a lot of
She's
bait.
gonna dash it and silence somebody, and then
But it's
forget
not
about
as,
that ult.
It's not like she doesn't have any like CC as useful as Sun Wukong Ox knockup. Right? She's got a nice ult. It's like
well, so I think that's the trade-off, right? So Sun Wukong has the animals, which provides him a lot of control, but his ultimate is like, haha, I got an extra life. Her ultimate is the control, and then the rest of her stuff is like, haha, you can't catch me, and I have all these protections,
Speaking
and I'm
of
silencing
catching.
you, and the whole bunch of, the grab bag of stuff that Amaterasu has at her disposal. So I don't know. I think.
look
I
at
think
this.
they
They're
fill
rotating
similar roles.
Amaterasu over, actually. Walrus, but he's left alone. The rest of Denial was in an awkward spot, and Walrus can't find anything.
Xenotronics.
1v1.
Not
Who's gonna
anymore.
win?
There's the taunt, and Benny XD is going to come out of the corner. Zigzag,
He's
and the
dead.
ultimate. Incon's going to fall. Dare to Care comes up a little bit too late. Benny XD ties the game.
That's
2-2.
what Benny XB has been looking to do, is pick off like any player, but Ymir and Isis specifically. And I'm really surprised. That was awkward from Incon. He had no wards, right? His team didn't have any vision, and he just walks in trying to 1v1 Xenotronics.
Yeah,
I think
that
this was a,
very...
I'm Ymir, I'm better than you, and he gets collapsed on instantly. No one on his team was even close.
Yeah, he definitely played very aggressive there. As I said, it was funny. I saw it as clear as day on the mini map. That's I get the benefit of vision. There was no wards on the side of the on the left hand side for Team Flex.
And you can see Shadowq there has Winged Blade online now, not going to get slowed by that silence. Has only that, and it looks like he's building into the cooldown reduction build. I think that's going to be a breastplate. And this is one thing that you need to be wary of for Denial, right? We've seen this like no health or just kind of Winged Blade health. Shadowq is not tanky.
Okay.
And if Team Flex can find him in an awkward position, he can pick him off, right? The benefit of this is kind of like that insane mobility you have, especially if you get slowed, which is very good against Team Flex's team comp. They have a lot of slows there. But he does need to be very careful with his positioning.
Of course. But the Winged Blade definitely, yeah, I mean, the Winged Blade is the go-to item, especially with the way Incon has been around, and you're going to get hit by that Medusa ult. You're not going to avoid that Medusa ult. It's the size of a missile. Double taunt out of Shadowq into all of that damage. Everyone's there. Big burst coming out of the trio for Denial Esports. Mid, jungle, support, Bond. Take it out too. And that's going to leave the left side of the map open for an aggression on
Benny
the
XD
gold.
did use his ult there, wasn't needed. Misses Deathbane as Denial are kind of tanking this awkwardly. They don't know exactly what they want to do here. They do want to go for the Gold Fury, but they're too wary of the players around. It's low. Denial Esports find 2 picks and the Gold Fury. Ocean's taunted out, forced to Purification. Walrus on Lassus in the mid, but the rest of the team isn't in position.
Walrus taking more damage than he's dealing onto the Isis right there. Unable to find the silence on the Wingus, so took the brunt of that. It's going to send Walrus back to base, but as you said, Gold Fury goes the way of Denial, giving them a slight lead in this contest, 1100.
Can we see Purification real quick? I want to see if... Incon obviously doesn't have it. Who else got taunted there? I believe it was Dare to Care got picked off, so Purification, I think we're down based on that. I don't think it's been 60 seconds. Mace in the mid lane, though, in a little bit of trouble. Almost 1v1 here.
Laz is waiting for that cooldown. Not going to find it in time.
Look at this, Amaterasu rotating in, but they know it. And it's going to be Walrus frozen out. He's going to be able to ult, but I mean, it's just a matter of time. Surrounded by 4 members, Dare to Care finds it, and now Benny XD and Mace to the face. They went forward trying to save him.
Matty Flex, double stun coming out from the Guan Yu. Dare to Care picks up 1. Oceans picks up 1 as well. Everybody on the side of Denial San Zeno is going to be down for the count. Zeno's going to clear out some jungle as Team Flex inevitably takes out these tier 1 and 2 towers. Again, the Wrecking Ball comes down the middle lane.
Look at that plummet.
Wow.
Game pretty much even outside of First Blood, and honestly, I think
14-minute
Flex are
Phoenix.
looking for this Phoenix. Xenotronics stunned out.
Wow.
Actually dashes into the team with his ultimate. It's just a matter of time. Lassus finds the last kill. And one mistake, I mean, this is 13 minutes. Denial were up by 1,000 after smartly getting a couple picks, getting the Gold Fury. And in response, Walrus rotates terribly in a very terrible position, gets blown up. The rest of Denial flood in trying to save him, just picked off 1 at a time. And that lead that Denial had worked so hard to gain completely reversed. 4,000 now in favor of Flex.
You know, I think the problem in that last defense of the Phoenix was, Adonis? Xenotronics didn't stand still in his ultimate. Maybe he could have tricked them into thinking he was
Look,
dead.
I'm saying that's like maybe something. I'm like saying like maybe someone will do that one day. I'm not trying to say that's a like normal strat. It's gonna work once. It's like Hunter feigned death in Arena, right? And WoW, right? It's like you're gonna get someone at one point, but then once you trick them once, it's not gonna happen again.
You know what that's in the same category as, and I'm
What?
gonna bring him up again. Sun Wukong. It's like getting tricked by the decoy. Maybe you can ult in the jungle and have that decoy go in the lane, and people are gonna burn stuff. But
So I'm on Sun, like the calls are like, I'm on Sun Wukong, I'm on Sun Wukong. Bro, that's a decoy. Yeah, man, I knew it the whole time. Walrus though gonna be able to split push the right hand side. Xenotronics now on Half-Life, no ultimate for him. Dare to Care gonna jump forward. Xenotronics trying to make space, but he turns around. Dare to Care in his ultimate, doesn't matter.
Wow.
It's gonna be a quick kill for Dare to Care. No one else to pick him off.
Xeno got eaten up. Kali has reached perhaps not critical mass, but really her on-off switches. Those
Everything
Shinsai Fatalis.
is going wrong for Denial right now.
Well, this is where Kali.
Oh, not again.
Kali's on.
Not again. Not again. Flex! On the left-hand side of the map, Dare to Care and Matty Pock, they don't know. They have no idea. It's going to happen 2 games in a row.
I've seen this episode already,
What?
Kevin.
2 games at 1 game, okay, but what? No one's on the map. Does Flex not realize this?
No, now Flex understand, and they're fine with it.
I don't think they know.
What
I
did-
honestly
what did
don't
Denial-
think they know.
No, they have to know because it
They
happened
can't
last
know.
time.
By now they know, maybe.
What? And see, that's exactly what was going to happen.
What? Did Walrus just teleport into 4 players?
Yes.
All right, Walrus.
But so what?
All right,
Kevin,
no. All right, well, what is that? You're trying to get into the SPL, and you think it's intelligent to teleport into a 1v4 scenario, right? One of 2 options happen. 1, they stop DPS on the tower and you die. Or 2, the tower dies. What?
Jet lag. My point, though, Kevin. What did Denial do last time with the gold? With
Walrus
the
has
fire
been
giant?
in the SPL, too.
What did Denial do with the fire
He
giant
played an
last time?
entire fall split.
Right now, Team Flex coming down the right-hand side. Shadow Q takes half of his HP thanks to a Spirit Ball. Not enough. Shadow Q's going to back in his own gateway. But last game, Denial didn't get anything off of the Fire Giant, right? And Team Flex go to the Tier 1 and then back trying to get to it, and they don't make it there in time. This time around, Team Flex push down, and they get a Tier 2. Denial have a Fire Giant, and who cares? Team Flex take all of the towers off of the map. Fire Giant be damned. Team Flex, they saw what happened last time. They said, fine, take the Fire Giant.
16
Take
minutes
it.
in, 7,600 gold. This feels like a 25-minute game. We're only 16 minutes into this one. So
There's-
so much back and forth action, so many kind of outplays. And look at this, Shadow Q caught in an awkward spot. He's going to be stunned out, walled in place, and it's going to be Matty Pocket to find the last hit on that one. Xenotronics already burns his ult, just trying to get damage off. And now Gold Fury, it's wide open. Flex, I mean, this game, it's not over, but I mean, it's over.
Nah, this game is definitely slanting down towards the side of Team Flex very drastically.
Look at these wards coming out from Flex, just so aggressive. They
Yep.
know the second Denial step foot out of that base, they know exactly where their players are.
And they're sentry wards, so they're going to make sure that they can travel around in Denial's jungle at their leisure. Denial really won't be able to control Team Flex going into their own jungle, which will pose a problem. But right now, Mid Phoenix has respawned and Denial has defended it successfully, so no harm there for the moment.
Matty Pocket, once again, going max cooldown, but it just seems like Denial can't even get close enough to burst him. He's just so far ahead that it doesn't matter, right? He's like 5 to 6 levels. The fights aren't even. This is a slaughter, this game.
The problem, one of the bigger problems for Denial Esports is Benny XD in this matchup. Unfortunately, he's the same level as his support, which isn't going to work. Meanwhile, Kali, on the other hand, just going absolutely off, as I said. Kali gets a lot of her damage from Shinsai just because of the way the character is built. Her basic attacks go nuts. And then you pair that with Fatalis, Kevin, and nobody's getting away from you. So once those 2 items are online, in addition to the boots, Kali is starting to chunk. And each item from there just puts her further and further into the I don't want to be near Kali category.
This is late game Kali without being late game build, simply because of the level difference, right?
Exactly.
This is,
Yep.
if everyone's level 20 and like Dare to Care is full build, like this is what Kali's actually doing. She's able to rip through, but she's essentially boosted up to that late game scenario just because of her level lead, the base movement speed, the base health, the protections, like it's all scaled to where like this is actually how effective she's going to be in those scenarios as well. The jungle being cleared by Flex Fire Giant. It won't be spawning for another minute and a half, but I don't think they're going to let this one go. They're just looking for continuous pickoffs. Oh, denial. Flex know they're there. You could see all 5 of them baiting denial into an awkward
sneak
spot.
This fire
Surprise!
giant? You want to sneak this fire giant? This time we're here, says Team Flex. Dare to Carrick starts the party off with an early kill on a Betty XD. Safely in the lane is Chiron, who's going to pop and try to hit people over the wall. And that's a lot of damage on the Team Flex. Honestly, Walrus cleans up Dare to Care. He's going to continue on, but taken out in the middle of his ultimate. Good taunt on to Oceans and Lazes.
Kill, 1 hit.
Oceans dodging and weaving. Xenotronics finds the basic. Aegis out the damage coming out from Lazes. Horseman still giving chase.
Xeno needs to pick up someone here for this fight to go well. So far, it's a 2 for 2. Oh, look at this. Mace to the face, able to sneak out, but he's going to get caught by the Wind Gust. Awkward pathing for him. Not the worst fight for Denial, in all honesty.
Well,
2 for 3.
Yeah, I agree. Denial play that very well, considering how well Team Flex surprised
So Oceans actually used Sanctuary against Incon's ultimate. I think he got scared. He popped Sanctuary with no one around him inside Incon's ultimate. I don't know if it was a fat finger or what, but then once the taunt came through for Shadow Q, he couldn't Sanctuary out that damage from Shield Wall, was left at 1 health, and got picked up.
Yeah, it's rough for the rookie Hunter. Maybe needs
Phoenix has spawned in the mid lane again, right-hand side. We have the Fire Giant back up, and you can see Denial already setting up for it.
Making sure to ward that objective. Denial definitely want to be aware of what's going on when it comes to the Fire Giant.
Denial's showing signs of life. I mean, if Benny XD can pick someone off in this fight, like that could be game-changing. But for now, Denial, they just want to go even. They just don't want the lead to get larger.
And this is why I get so scared when I see rookie junglers on characters that only do one thing, and that's deal damage. Because if you fall behind, you can't drop that Fear No Evil. You can't Thor ult in. Team Flex starting the Fire Giant. And they've got fantastic spacing, honestly. They
Walrus got to pick off Oceans, caught sleeping in the back line. And look at this, Athena all coming through. This is going to be a big taunt, but nice freeze from Incon. Going to slow down the pressure. Wall should be available here in just a second. No, it's not up.
Walrus chased out, but Matty Pocket up on the horse, not going to find the stun, and going to walk directly away right into the Ice Assault. Well timed to get the heal up. The wall put up by Incon, going to separate the 2 teams for just long enough for Matty to heal them up.
Then I'll need to reset. I mean, Guan Yu's just going to start healing up this team. Shadow Q finds a 2-man taunt, and now it's Amaterasu dashing at Lassus. He's the first to fall, and now this fight's in Denial's favor. Incon's going to wall off most of Denial, but it's going to be Benny XD chasing him down.
Where's the taunt coming out from Shadow Q? It's going to be up in 1 second. It's available now. Team Flex out of range. So Denial now just going to slink back onto the Fire Giant. They're going to start this, and they will take whatever fight comes their way. They have proven they will fight.
This is risky, but they know they're so far behind. They have to make a risky play to get back into it. Shadow Q tanking it. It looks like they just want to bait the fight.
It's already down to 50.
Flex aren't having any of it. They're allowing Denial to get poked out here, and Walrus going to dash through. Incon actually taunted out of his freeze. Matty Pocket is able to pick up Shadow Q, but Xenotronics takes out Incon in return, but here's Dare to Care now. He's going to start ripping through this team. Walrus, the first victim to be chased down.
He's going to run away and find safety in the jungler. Meanwhile, Matty Pocket puts the horseman in the ground. Credit for that one. Still giving chase is Team Flex. Ultimate out of the Medusa. Gets 1 kill, and as soon as that Serket falls off of Ocean, she's going to go down as well. Matty Pocket shows up to secure that one. 4-1 and 8 for the solo laner out of Team Flex. And after that exchange, no one gets the Fire Giant, but Team Flex still sitting on top by about 9,500 gold. Just shy of 10K. Team Flex really bringing the pain this set.
I mean, Denial Esports able to take out, basically trade out evenly, find a couple picks, try and make the risky play. And when you're 9, 10K behind, like, you have to make risky plays. You can't get whittled down. That's one of the biggest reasons we see teams lose, is that they just allow teams to walk all over them, and slowly the 5K gold lead goes to 20K real quick. And here's Walrus caught out on the rotation. He's going to try and ult out, but Dare to Care, I'm not going to chase him, and Flex, with Amaterasu's ult down, going to force this Fire Giant.
Already down to half. Making his way forward. Shadow Q's going to show up. He's got Amaterasu in tow. Wall's going to prevent the dash in, and that's going to be enough to give Team Flex the Fire Giants. So, ladies and gentlemen, Team Flex now in a very good position in game number 2 here of the first set of our North American relegation phase 3.
The question is, what does Flex do? Do they elect to go the gold, or they start pushing stuff? Red buff. Oh, I almost thought it was going to be secured by the new one. I was like, is the new one minion going to take it out? Incon.
Cobra's
Looks
Kiss
like he has
off the mark.
Magi's, yeah. Shadow Q dead, caught out. Oh no, gets his ult off barely.
Shadow Q's going to...
But he has to go back to base, and this is
Yeah,
bad.
sure.
There's no way Denial could fight this without Shadow Q, who's still in Fountain.
Shadow Q's going to make his way out, but not before the Phoenix falls down. Remember, that was half HP and half power, thanks to Team Flex taking it out earlier. No towers on the board. It is a strong taunt, but a great wall will separate Denial Esports from its initiator. And Amaterasu going to be fine in general. Dare to Care forced to jump out. Incon.
Oh,
Sprint
Dare.
is popped.
The heal from Guan Yu going to keep him alive. Xenotronics low. Benny XD is able to take out Dare to Care in the back, but Oceans takes out Mason. Now it's 2 players surrounding Shadow Q who falls. Walrus teleports into the back line, but he's left alone. He's going to dash onto Lassus here. He's actually doing a lot of damage, but with the Guan Yu heals, I don't think he's going to be able to pick him up.
Nah, it's going to be enough, and Matty Pocket's able to shove
Just
the
zoning.
enemy in the wrong way. Exactly. Just get away from my carry. Get away from my mid. Leave him alone. Lazarus, go deal some basics out of the Phoenix on the left side. That's exactly what he elects to do. 2 Phoenixes now down for Denial Esports. Team Flex looking very strong as they aggress onto the base.
Benny XD spawning in 8 seconds. Shadow Q will have his ultimate up relatively soon as well, but Walrus could get picked off already on half-life. Caught between the Phoenix and the wall. And Lassus, 6-1 and 10 with that kill. Right-hand side Phoenix, this is real rough for Denial.
And that's a tanky god. Amaterasu has built the breastplate, a little bit of magical defense as well. Spirit robe into a frostbound.
Benny. Matty Pocket and Incon gonna back off there. And yeah, it's a warrior late game who's built into health items.
So much damage that Team Flex is able to put out into a single target.
It's just a 4v1 CC combo, right?
Exactly.
If Walrus isn't CC'd, he's kind of able to like juke out a lot of these abilities and probably live. He also has damage mitigation on the reflection shield, but I mean, if he's just CC'd for 6 seconds straight, he's done.
Exactly. And, you know, I think that goes to show just how powerful that he really has been in these fights, whether it's been his positioning or his timing. Walrus has found at least 3, he's found 3 kills here, and he's assisted in 3 others, but...
You know, I really like what Denial has been doing in regards to Dare to Care is they're forcing him to get low, right? But they're making sure, whoever the target is, I'm not entirely sure right now, is whoever the target is, they make 100% sure they don't die in the fights. They let Dare to Care go incredibly deep, get low, and even though he retreats, that's when they send up the new ult.
Yep.
Unfortunately, though, Guan Yu was able to heal on that last engagement, and maybe it goes more in their favor if he can't.
It's possible.
And there's really not enough healing reduction.
Incon by himself going to get taunted. But it's just enough to take off the Magi's blessing. Here come the rest of Team Flex, pushing down the mid lane. There's the Circuit ultimate, but Laza takes him out. And now they're going to chase Mace in the face on the left side, forcing out the new ult. Oceans by himself. Sanctuary out. The ultimate has been the mid laner. And Xenotronics is now here to play defense against the Hunter. Shifting back into the mid lane. Shadow Q by himself. Damage being dealt to the support. And it's enough.
Can't get out in time, but honestly, it's Oceans in an awkward spot now. Titan being aggressed. Fire minions raining through. Walrus doing his best to defend versus 5. The Titan at 3,000. This is more than likely going to be game unless Denial can pull out a miracle.
Nope, that's going to be toast. Order Titan falls down one more time. Team Flex, they claim another win. 2 wins to 0 on the side of Team Flex at the moment.
You know, I am seeing the experience of Denial show out, right? They're not giving up, they're fighting, and while they're not winning these late game fights, they are trading some form of victories. It just appears that kind of their players are getting outplayed mechanically more than anything. And Walrus, honestly, 2 crucial mistakes in that game, right? It all started with Denial finding the first Gold Fury, right? They had lost first blood, they got a couple picks in the mid. Now they have 1,000 gold lead off of that 1,500 Gold Fury. Then, in response, Flex decided to push the early towers, right? And we actually didn't see this first blood, so we're going to take a look at it real quick. Yeah, I think he just got caught out in CC chain. So, back to my point. Walrus then rotates in from the top side with the tier 1 and mid already down. Yeah. And then Flex are like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
There
And
was
then they
a
just
lot.
kill him.
There was a lot of
And then,
what are you
and
doing
then Mace to the
moments.
face walks in trying to save him, right? It's kind of that thing where it's like, okay, he got caught. Let's bail him out. That's the call. And then was one falls at a time, and it goes from, them being up 1,000 with a Gold Fury to them losing one player, then two players, then three players,
Yep.
then a tier 1 tower, then a tier 2 tower, then the Phoenix. It's just kind of like the domino effect where Denial Esports, they didn't say let's just reset. They all just tried to save the next person, and it goes from them having a 1K lead to them down 4,000.
Which I think a lot of what we saw in that game or those two games out of Denial is a result of the roster, honestly, and how much it changes and stuff like that. They have these plays that they can call. Hey, sneak a fire giant. Hey, Walrus split push. Right? They have these interesting plays that they can call that seem to be effective, honestly. But a lot of times you're seeing just disjointed initiations and the team fight's just not going their way. And I think you can chalk some of that at least up to just lack of consistency. A lot of the long-lasting teams in Smite wind up being very successful because of how much synergy they're able to have. And as we take a look at Team Flex, I mean, Laz and Dare to Care, they live together, so they're definitely going to be on the same page. And Matty Pocket, one of the newest additions to the squad, has also really wound up being on the same page. We'll take a look at some of his highlights in this game because he has been on fire, not just today, but also last week. Matty Pocket was really showing up in this solo lane.
I mean, Guan Yu is just such an intelligent pick right now into this meta where, if the other team where a lot of teams are running high pressure, but not a lot of high burst.
Right.
And you actually did see Denial pick up the Sturket, but unfortunately she got so far behind, she couldn't do what she wanted to do. And Matty Pocket's just like, all right, I'm just going to spam one. And honestly, just being phenomenal at distracting a lot of players, being in the front line, nice stuns. And a lot of his job was protect his backline because Incon was being the aggressor. Dare to Care was diving. And all he did was sit next to Dare to Care, sit next to Lassus, and make sure they stayed alive when the Sturket kind of jumped on them.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, we didn't see the fantastic initiations that Guan Yu is usually known for, right? We didn't see a lot of these crucial stuns. We saw a handful, which definitely helped out. But as you said,
mean, you don't
he
need
was
to
really
initiate.
all about those.
You don't need to initiate with Guan Yu when you have a Ymir, when you have a
Exactly.
Kali. You have two gods that their job is to dive the back line. When all three players are diving the back line, you leave Oceans and you leave Lassus, especially on Isis and Medusa, who could very easily get caught out, especially against a Sturket. So he played exactly what his role needed to be, was protect his back line and then aggress on those players who were caught out very low. Talu Assault can just shred through him, even without damage.
Always available to provide triage. That Guan Yu, Matty Pocket, really shaping things up. We're going to head to a quick break, but as we leave you, it's game number 2. We're heading into game 3. Team Flex can clean it up if they win this next one. Denial, on the other hand, they need to win a few. We'll be back in a couple. Stay tuned.